It's three things in life that's certain: death, taxes, and 85 gonna always be open.
Hello, my name is Vince, and in today's video I'm going to be giving my initial thoughts and reactions to the Bengals' final 53-man roster. Before I get into today's video, I'm going to ask you guys to please subscribe and like the video for more content like this in the future, and make sure you check out my last video where I gave my instant reaction and thoughts to the Bengals versus the Dolphins in week 3 of the preseason. Now for today's video, we're going to be talking about the Bengals' final 53-man roster, who they let go, who they brought back, and who they kept on the 53-man roster. There's a lot in this 53-man roster that I am not agreeing with and I agree with as well. So we're going to get into it in today's video. So I'm going to start here by addressing the positions and who made the team first. Also, I won't be covering positions that we pretty much already knew who had it locked up. So I'm not going to go over things like quarterback, safety, or linebacker really. So for receiver, the players that made the position were T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, Auden Tate, Mike Thomas, and Stanley Morgan Jr. So with these moves, that means we released Trent Irwin, Trent Taylor, and Scotty Washington. Thankfully, Trent Taylor and Trent Irwin did end up on the practice squad. However, I don't like the move of cutting Trent Irwin after his performance in preseason. I get Mike Thomas is the more experienced guy and he has more chemistry with the playbook and other things on this team. However, Trent Irwin outperformed him and he looked way better as a player than Mike Thomas did. Plus, some bad plays in the preseason and a dirty hit against Miami last season has him at division with some of the fans of this team. So at the end of the day, I really would have preferred a player like Trent Irwin who could have caught anything, and I mean anything, and he showed it this preseason, over a guy like Mike Thomas who fumbled pretty easily when hit hard. Moving on to running back, the finalists were Joe Mixon, Samaj Perine, and Chris Evans, the rookie. So that means we cut Jaquez Patrick, Puka Williams, and Travion Williams. Thankfully, all ended up back on the practice squad, and I don't really have any complaints with this here. So to be honest, if any of our running backs go down with injury, I'm not going to be too worried as we have plenty of depth on the main roster and the practice squad. Now tight ends that made the cut were CJ Uzomah, Drew Sample, and of course, Mitchell Wilcox. So what that means is that surprisingly, Thaddeus Moss did not make the roster despite how well he looked in preseason and in training camp this year. At first I was very angered by this move and I was really lashing out at the team. However, with more days to comprehend this decision, I've come to accept it a little bit. Apparently the main reason was because Darren Simmons thought Mitchell Wilcox was a better special teams player than Thaddeus Moss. And also because Thaddeus Moss at tight end 3 wouldn't be playing many snaps at all whatsoever, so it wouldn't have been too useful to the team. However, he was back signed on the practice squad, so if a tight end does go down with an injury, you can expect Thaddeus Moss to be signed and step up and fill a tight end 2 or tight end 1 role even. So now we get to the biggest part of this video and the most important part of all, the offensive line. The starting offensive line will be Riley Reif, Xavier Su'a-Filo, Quentin Spain, Trey Hopkins, and Jonah Williams. Meanwhile, the players on the bench will be Fred Johnson, Isaiah Prince, Jackson Carman, Trey Hill, and Deontay Smith. This means Michael Jordan, Gunnar Vogel, and Keaton Sutherland were all cut. Now with Michael Jordan, I'm on the fence with this one. Now whoa, before you all get your pitchforks and start crying in the comments saying, why are you complaining about Michael Jordan being cut? He was by far the worst lineman on this team last year. Yes, it is true that he was the worst player on the offensive line last year. Yes, he was bad, but he was improving with Frank Pollock and this preseason. I know he has a bad reputation in Cincinnati since he's the one who got Burrow injured, but I've really liked his attitude heading into next year and how he's been trying to keep his head down and trying to work hard. And in the preseason, I think he showed that as he had good grades for all 3 games that he played in. Now, I'm not saying he could have been starting or he should have been starting, but he could have really took some time to learn some more under the lineman this season, and then if he came in next year, he could have been really good. However, we do have Akeem Adeniji on the roster who will probably be out this season and come back next year, who looks very promising, so it's probably for the best to have a new fresh start for Michael Jordan in Carolina, and I'm wishing him nothing but the best. Also, Keaton Sutherland's still in the practice squad, but not Gunnar Vogel. With that being said, I'm very happy Jackson Carman and Deontay Smith and Trey Hill made this roster. It shows the 3 rookies look very promising and show a lot of poise heading into this season. They're all working hard, and I'm pretty sure they're going to start for us in the future, and Frank Pollock seems to have these boys on lock and looking much improved. I'm very happy with the offense overall and how it turned out on the final 53 besides Trent Irwin not making it, of course, but I think it's going to be okay. However, for the defensive side of the ball, I have a lot more problems and issues that we have to discuss. So first up on defense is the defensive line. I'll start off with edge players and who made the cut and who's on the bench. On edge, obviously Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard made the cut, and on the bench, Khalid Kareem, Darius Hodge, Cameron Sample, and newly acquired defensive end Wyatt Ray will fill those shoes. At the tackle positions, DJ Reader and Larry Ogunjobi will be starting for us, and Tyler Shelvin and Josh Tapu and newly acquired BJ Hill will be on the bench. So I'm not really mad at anything on the edge part or the tackle position really, but the one I'm really pissed about is cutting Mike Daniels and not even re-signing him to the practice squad. I get you want the younger guys and the best available players to be on the team as possible, but you also need veteran leadership and some good hype people to get this team excited and bring the energy. And what's crazy to me is that they really could have brought him back. So look, let me break this down for you. What they did first was they waived Mike Thomas and Trent Irwin, and then they brought on Nick McLeod and Wyatt Ray. Then they placed Khaled Kareem on the injury reserve, which means he's out for at least 3 weeks and will probably be back after that. And then they brought back Mike Thomas. If you look at this how I'm looking at it, and I think I'm doing the math correctly here, Wyatt Ray or Nick McLeod are getting cut by week 3 at least when Khaled Kareem comes back off IR. I get you think the defensive end depth might be thin right now, but I disagree. Khaled Kareem will be out for at least 3 weeks and will be back after that, so it won't be too long without him. I think instead of bringing on Wyatt Ray, you could have brought Mike Daniels back and used that as a veteran for a few weeks to bring some energy to this team and get them young guys ready for the rest of the season and moving forward into the future. So yeah, to me, I just don't like getting rid of Mike Daniels, who was a huge locker room guy and brought the energy for this defense. But either way, Wyatt Ray is a Bengal now, and we have to keep rooting for him and hope he makes the best out of this opportunity for us. Also, as a side note, Osai and Hubert are on IR for us and will miss this season completely, of course. Moving on to the last position I'm going to cover today will be cornerback. So the players that made this roster are Trey Waynes, Darius Phillips, Chidobe Awuzie, Mike Hilton, Jalen Davis, and newly acquired Nick McLeod. So this means they cut Tony Brown, Antonio Phillips, and Winston Rose, and they're all signed to the practice squad now. Me personally, I don't have any complaints with this cornerback room. I think they made the right choice and made the right additions to the 53-man roster. And of course, getting rid of Tony Brown and Antonio Phillips were really good choices, and I'm glad they're not on the 53-man roster like they were last year. Plus, Nick McLeod looks like he has some good upside along with Jalen Davis too. Jalen Davis has had a solid training camp, and Nick McLeod seems to have a lot of talk going on about him and having some good upside to him. So hopefully that works out. So yeah, overall the 53-man roster is a way to wrap this up. I don't have too many complaints about it, but there is some things I majorly disagree with and I wish we did differently, such as Trent Irwin and Mike Daniels. But I can't complain too much about those moves, and this team should still be in great shape heading into this year. And overall, for the first time in a while, we've been pretty much completely healthy just about. Aside from Osai, Kareem, Hubert, and maybe Waynes, of course. Also Adenji. Don't forget Adenji. But yeah, the team looks like they're in great shape heading into the season, and hopefully we're primed for a good year. And with all that, I believe that concludes today's video. We are now officially 1 week away from NFL football in the regular season. I hope you guys are as excited as I am, and I'm prepared to cover all the games this year, giving you my instant reaction and thoughts on Facecam. A heads up for you guys, those instant reaction and thoughts videos, I'm going to be a lot more biased, I'm going to be a lot more energetic, and I might get a lot more mad. I'm just overall going to show a lot more passion into these videos in the regular season, and I'm hoping to provide a few funny overreactions for you guys throughout the year and make you guys laugh. My goal in these videos are basically to talk to you guys as a fan and not like a realist as I have been doing in these past few videos. But anyway, to continue this outro, if you like the video, make sure you like and subscribe for more content like this, and please check out my other videos if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to leave a comment leaving your thoughts on the final 53-man roster for the Bengals, and also giving me content ideas for the offseason. If you want to see more of my unfiltered side and get updates on videos coming out, please follow my Twitter in the link below or on the screen right here. Also, for newcomers, my upload schedule is every Sunday, and I'm going to go back to every Saturday in the off season most likely. But other than that, I think that's about it. So everybody, please be safe out there, take care of your loved ones, have a great day, and have a great night, whichever one you're having, and Hoo Day.